What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. I'm gonna be a magic tuber for one day and one day only, unless wizards, do you want to send me some stuff? That would be really awesome of you. I'm gonna become a customer of magic, and we're gonna go ahead and get into what they've done today, how they've broken ground into this amazing arena, and I'm really happy with what they did, if I'm honest, out here early. Spoilers, but I'm going to be rating the cards that they've created in terms of their artwork and also how I feel about the collab they've created with Toho. Yes, they went ahead and created this direct line to Toho and made some new cards. But in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, I'm the Godzilla guy. I'm the guy that people, whenever they see something wacky or funny or silly with Godzilla, I get sent the same Godzilla toilet paper roll holder 20 times, or the little steamer came out, people send me that. It happens. People are going to be like, oh, John, did you see this? And I'm very, very fine with that. I freaking love Godzilla. There's nothing else that I really have this childlike enthusiasm for, not even Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been a competitor of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've had to tear apart the cards, and I refound my casual love of Yu-Gi-Oh! Much later in life. But with Godzilla, I don't want to become a Godzilla tuber where I have to nitpick and tear apart the movies that I just want to sit back and enjoy. I don't want to have to be like, yeah, this was bad, this was good. I don't want to have to do that. So if you've been on my live streams, you've also seen my computer desktop background flash more than a couple of times from the Godzilla comics. But let's get into how we led up to this point, what we knew was coming, and then the surprises today that Magic actually shared. So some of their product had leaked out, but people were huge doubting that it was real, because what came out of it, the leaks that happened were Godzilla cards. I don't know how Magic handles their leaks in the community, so I wanted to go ahead and hold this back until today. I know Konami would straight up ban people for maybe talking about this early, but with Magic, I saw my favorite kaiju appear, Space Godzilla. I know, trash taste, trust me, but it's what got me into everything Godzilla, and it's really hard to beat that peak of the movie that gets you into everything. And I freaking love Space Godzilla in the movie. He's a malicious villain who actually ends up with this DBZ-like plot of, Godzilla, I'm taking your son and you're gonna come have to fight me. It's literally Raditz versus Goku over Gohan. Anyways, I digress. All these cards seem to be mostly focused around the Heisei series till we peer towards the bottom and see King Caesar. Godzilla's suit is the Heisei series, which means the 90s if you're not a Godzilla fan. It's basically the 90s series around Godzilla that ends up being pretty thick. It's a lot of movies. And then King Caesar is actually from Showa. It's the older Godzilla movies back from the 70s and earlier. So it's pretty cool to see homage all the way back then. But we haven't even seen some of these officially confirmed by Magic, but people were looking at these like, no way do these exist, man. This is so fake. But the first thing leading up to this point that you do have to realize actually is Godzilla vs. Kong was supposed to drop around now. So the rights and licensing and pushes towards products were supposed to be happening here, and some things that have their release dates set and creations made, they have to drop right now around when the movie was originally going to come out, and Magic was huge stuck in that boat. Magic isn't able to back off, oh yeah, we'll release these cards later. They have to put their sets in order and march forward, so they were working with Toho on this, it seems, and then, well, they had to push forward with it compared to what everybody else did. So today on their official YouTube, you can see behind their director, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. This is my first peek into the Magic world really since, I want to say high school, like over 12 years ago. And he has these awesome posters that I'm gonna need with Godzilla and Mothra in the art, so we know even more cards are coming, and they break it down and explain exactly how these cards are going to work. We see that here, King Ghidorah is also a part, which looks like a combination of almost the Heisei King Ghidorah, which is the 90s, and the new one from the Legendary films. But you have a standard art, which looks very typical Magic-ish. Then this showcase art that looks like they hired a freaking comic book writer to draw. It looks amazing. I'm not even into Magic like that, but boy, does it look good. But my preference leans over to the right here. King freaking Ghidorah looks awesome. So it is going to count as the same card despite having that different name up top. You can see right under King Ghidorah that it actually has the Aluna Apex of Wishes name right under Ghidorah King of the Cosmos. So you can't cheese out like playing 8 copies of some card or something. It's just an alter art, and they called it a flavor text name, I think, even. But it is so cool conceptually that they reached out, they got Toho on the line, they went over there, they worked with them, so Toho had to check everything off that's happening here, and boy, did they do the art justice. They did it really nice. And I'm gonna go ahead and show the rest of the cards for people who are here that are like, just get to the news, John, stop talking about Godzilla, I want to know what's happening with Magic. Maybe you've never been to my channel before. I'll go ahead and get to that real quick on the rest of the reveals that we saw. We also saw pop up Rodan and Mothra, the Supersonic Queen, so you already saw the poster of that, and both are also from the Heisei. This is Fire Rodan if you're not familiar with Godzilla, and that ends up being the versus Mechagodzilla movie in the 90s, and then also there's the versus Mothra series. This is very clearly the 90s Mothra, so I feel like they're really targeting their the people who would have grown up with Godzilla. They're going after the people who did grow up with it in the 90s, or that was their first experience of Godzilla. I can't really see that they're reaching out too far into the past yet with these designs, but that's when I grew up with Godzilla. My introduction was Space Godzilla, so I really appreciate that they're going with the Heisei era. One thing with Godzilla that you guys do have to realize is a lot of people have their own version of him. When it comes to Godzilla, there are literally over 30 different designs, and people have their entry movie or movie series where they're like, yeah, this is Godzilla to me, and they want to accept other forms sometimes, so Magic kind of had to plant the flag and decide, where are we going with this? What are we really going to focus and center around? And it does seem that they picked the 90s series overall, but in future sets, you could see them maybe pay homage to multiple Godzilla suits, because from what I was seeing on the early leaks, let's actually kind of compare notes here. You see the Godzilla art spitting his atomic breath on the right here. It looks a bit different than the leaks, if I'm honest. He's not spitting his breath. He's actually just out there in daylight, almost looking GMK-like, which is the 2000s movie, but it looks a lot more Heisei slash maybe even the early 80s concept overall there. So I feel like they're really gravitating towards this one kind of specific area of Godzilla rather than reaching too far and trying to get it all in one go. I do hope that there's future collabs with this also. Like, I'm a huge fan. Like I said, this is gonna have me over purchasing this, but if you want to go ahead and see your leaks for yourselves, a lot of people are asking me, where's the source? Are these real? I thought these were fake. The official Magic YouTube is the source for this. This is their Ikoria announcement stream, which showed it all, and I'm gonna need me some Magic cards. So I do have a P.O. box in every description down below if you're a Magic player and you end up getting some of these and you're like, you know what, I'm not a big Godzilla fan, I know somebody who is. That would be really awesome of you, but I think I'm gonna be a consumer. I'm gonna be a customer. This is really freaking awesome. So Konami, I'm hoping you're taking some notes out there where they borrow a lot of properties. I think they were even scared a little bit when it came to Disney acquiring Star Wars when they did the Cosmo archetype, and they also had the Kaiju archetype that does pay homage towards Godzilla. Why not just straight up maybe work with some other companies and get the rights? I think this is very breaking ground, by the way. Like, you've seen other card games do this, and you've always wondered, why hasn't Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon done something like this? Well, Pokemon's more obvious. They're their own huge, crazy licensing that has made more than any other pretty much license, period. But when it comes to Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, I've always kind of scratched my head. I'm like, you're going Star Wars and Wizard of Oz, why not do something official? Or you're doing something like this. So Magic seems to have their foot in the door. They've worked officially with Toho, and this is freaking awesome. Wizards, thank you so much. I know that a lot of people do criticize Wizards, and that's probably going to be some of the comment section from Yu-Gi-Oh players. It's going to be like, oh man, Wizards, they do this to their players, or the market's tanking over there, or things are bad. I'm honestly just a Godzilla fan here when it comes to these. I don't think I'm going to be picking up the cards and trying to try hard, play the game, become competitive or anything, but I definitely need these posters if that's a possibility, so let me know in the comment section down below if with this art show they said some way that they're going to give these posters out or have them for sale, because I'll be a customer. And I'm also going to for sure be hunting down the cards that are coming out. I want to see this from more card games, if I'm honest. Like, you have the multi-mix ones. I'm sure people have already shouted also Vice Shorts and stuff like that. I get it. Other card games have had this kind of collab-like thing. HeroClix have done it, surely. And now the big card games are finally, after all these years, catching on, getting in there, and doing it with something that I love more than almost anything. Thanks for watching.